Run away. Run away. Run away.
Welcome to my channel. I hope you like it here.
Because she found the note on my bed and she was like, "Are you really on?" I'm like, "Yeah." I got a call from the police. What happened going on my first trip to see my husband for the very first time in Turkey? He doesn't care. Babe! Mickey, can you believe it? I land in Heathrow Airport and I don't have my cellular data. Got text from my WhatsApp because that's how I was texting him in the first place. WhatsApp. Got a contact from the police. They were like, "Hey, we just want to make sure that you're okay, that you're safe and there's nothing bad going on." They probably thought I was getting or something. Sorry, I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube. I was like, I'm fine. My parents just never wanted me to come and meet this guy that I met online, and I'm fine. I'm 19, They're like, "Okay, call us if you need anything." I was like, that is so weird. I didn't even know. What if that was never the police? I never even thought about that. But what if someone like just texting me randomly like, "Hey, I'm the police." Like, you're not nigga. Like the police would like. I don't know to this day. He got a voice message from my dad. "Hey, babe. Okay."
Dryer. It's gonna make noise.
Yeah, it's okay. No one's watching anyways. My dad had texted him on his WhatsApp and basically was like,
"If anything bad happens to my daughter, it's gonna happen to you 100 times.
My dad's like this big, tall, deep-voiced man and very intimidating. But I don't know how my husband felt. I think he still to this day admires that my dad did that. He's a good man, but he understands like, yeah, he doesn't know what's gonna happen to you, Sarah. So he's obviously right for saying like, "I'm gonna up." So we're there. I finally meet him and we had the best of times. He took me everywhere in his city, the east side. I didn't just go to Istanbul. I went to Izmir, I went to Kuşadası, and I went to Kütahya, where his original family is from.
I don't do voiceovers, but I decided to do a voiceover on the archive photos my Instagram remembered to keep. This was our first walk in his city in Kütahya. I had never held a man's hand before. I was cheesing. You guys just don't understand what a miracle. Here he is, eating breakfast. It was for me to be there, be accepted by his family, for them to love me the way that they did. They didn't treat me like another person. They invited me to all of their events, and I gained 10 pounds there, guys. I was eating so much food. They gave me gifts. They gave me clothes and necklaces, jewelry. They gave me everything. And I had bought gifts for them too, but it was to the point where I gave them their gifts and they gave me so many gifts I could not fit it in my luggage, and I had 3 whole bags. Family was stalking my posts. A lot of people were so upset at me at this time, and you see what I'm posting? I didn't give a fuck. I understood I would be perceived in a certain way, so I was trying to explain to people through my posts, like, he's okay. Everyone thought he was disrespectful, monster, deprived, something. I don't know what people thought of him, but I was posting all the time to just show that he's okay. And as you can see, we slept in different rooms. They, as in Amir's parents, were making sure nothing went on unattended between us.
Even though we were both full-grown adults.
And both his parents watched us like hawks, bro. I know they felt a sense of responsibility after my parent gave them so much hell about my decision. Like, shout out to my in-laws, bro. I was seriously blessed. Of course, my morals were tested, but I feel like me making the decision to choose me also strengthened my core beliefs of morals, and I was able to be truly right in myself, and I did what I thought was right. So I don't regret the move. This is also Istanbul. It was a beautiful city. It was a beautiful time, and I just wish that a lot of more people were able to see the beauty in what I saw at that time without making so much drama around the situation. I don't even know what I could have done to make it like, okay guys, don't be scared, because look, we loved each other and it was a really fun time. And of course, this is a lot of mush, gush, but I thought you guys would like seeing this. And I promise you, I had the best time of my life. This was one of the most beautiful times. Even though it was sad, I don't regret a thing. And I am so proud of my 19-year-old self with my bad behind. Someone need to give me a spank. Like, I low-key still can't believe I pulled that off.
And it was just a beautiful time. He was doing Muay Thai, and so he took me to his boxing matches, and he won. It was really like a fairy tale. Blood all over his gloves and everything, girl. Nah, I didn't like it, but he won. Yay. After that, 3 weeks, came home. And you would think my dad would be like, "Get out of my house." Central African, they do not take no Dad is such a teddy bear. He was like, Sarah, what you did was wrong. Come back home, prodigal daughter. I felt loved, obviously. I didn't feel bad for what I did. at all. I mean, I felt bad that they didn't see what I saw. I felt bad that they didn't see how good of a person that he was, and they all were like, oh girl, you're never gonna come back. Girl's gonna take you, gonna slit your throat, and go sell your organs, girl. And I was like, I'm back. What are y'all gonna say now? But they were all like, nah, you should have obeyed your dad. Like, you can't win for trying. You can't.
Of course, I'm a little older now. What I could say, what I did as a 19-year-old was absolutely wild. I don't think that I would be able to do that same thing again. I just had nerves. I had estrogen and testosterone both coursing through my veins, not really sure. But I don't think that what I did was wrong in theory. It was just the authorities around me. It was a bad look, you know?
If I could have gone back, probably would have left the house. So I'm like, I'm independent. Y'all can say what y'all want me to do, but I'm still doing my thing. My dad takes me to a parking lot, and I felt really bad. But I still didn't regret what I did. He was like, you know, you didn't do the right thing. You know, we didn't want you to go, and you went anyway. Don't you see that was wrong? And I was like, no. You guys were saying all this stuff about him that wasn't true, and I proved you guys wrong. And he was like, that's not the point. The point is you need to obey us. And I'm like, I've been obeying y'all since I was born. Conversation did not end very well. It wasn't like violent, throwing hands. And my dad wasn't that type of a person to me. He's Central African, y'all should already know. I know there's gonna be some Africans in the comments if you guys have heard the story before, being like, yeah, Sarah, yeah, you was in the wrong. In fact, when after I came back from America, I went back to Turkey in July of 2019, and I got married in October. I went there because I was like, I'm gonna just live in Turkey. I want to know more about his family and his culture. It's beautiful over there, and I have nothing over here in Ohio but y'all, and you guys hate me. I don't know. I was so in love. I was so in love with him. I'm still so in love with him. Would do it again. Change some things, but would do it again. Same time, same year. Just do extra stuff to make sure that I'm not specifically like causing people to be. I mean, causing me to sin. Like, I would do better things. I would do better. I move out and I meet this girl from Gambia, and I know, Sully, if you're watching, I'm gonna talk about you. She was basically like, yeah, girl, like, you should have known your African dad would not let your big behind cross the Atlantic Ocean to find someone that he never met before. That is not of his culture too. Are you mad, girl? Yes, I was mad in love. This was before COVID, mind you. This 2018 in July. In October, I got married, and then in December, I came back for Christmas, and that was the most heated argument I ever had with my parents in my whole grandma got involved. Damn. And we're still talking about my dad and like the impact he had on my life. That was just one of the rockiest parts of it, you know? He never ever opposed to much of what I did. Ever was like, oh, over my dead body and blah, blah, blah. But I know why now he was so opposed to me going back to Turkey, because in his mind, I was leaving him. And I was like, no, I just met someone and I'm starting a family. Don't you guys teach? Aren't you married? You know what this is. But he was like, no, you're not married. According to scripture, you're not married, and it's nullified because I don't think you're married, so you got divorced. I'm like,
First of all, no. And second of all,
how can I get a divorce if you don't think I'm married? Really stupid argument. Ended up where I saw him cry about me for the very, very first time. Like, I've never seen him cry unless it was about my mom. Like, I never seen him like cry about me. I never disappointed my dad to the point where he cried, and I was so numb to it at this point because it was an argument that lasted for like 3 hours. I recorded the whole thing because I was like, this is no way you guys think this is sane. Mickey, he's just watching like, no, I never heard this. Like, you never heard this story before, Mickey? I just realized. January, I took my flight back because I was after Christmas and Christmas break, and I just remember my dad just saying, like, he was trying to say I love you, but he started crying, and I was like, I don't know, in my heart, I was like, you're so stubborn. I just could not get over the fact he was like, I don't want to hear about him. I want to hear about you, blah, 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 since you want to leave us. Because he really had, and I forgot to mention, when he parked in the Walmart and talking about, you know, what you did wasn't right. Do you think what you did was right? Before I left in July, he took me on another road trip and was like, if you go, you're not going to be able to connect with the family anymore. You know, you're going to be rejected. And I was like, cool. Okay, you trying to scare me? I can't say nothing. I can't say nothing to her. I don't know who she is. Like, I cannot say anything to keep her under my control. I kept her in my control for so long. And that obviously has a lot to do with religion. I have a very stressful relationship with religion, as you can hear. I do not recommend That's all I'll say. That was right before COVID, and we scheduled for my husband to come back from COVID. COVID started in March, remember? But we got the news about COVID, and I'm teaching school, like I'm an English teacher in Turkey at this time, and we got the news that COVID came and everything was shut down, and I had to do all my classes on Zoom. And I realized, oh, it's bad, because everything was closing down around the whole globe. And in March, it's like cold turkey, everyone stay inside. Coronavirus! Don't come outside. And so I was calling my dad, and of course I can't reach him because he cut me off. But I was calling my siblings. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, we're okay." Like, I mean, just exaggerating. People were picketing. George Floyd died. Then freaking because everyone was picketing about like Black Lives Matter, and I was just so mad. I wanted to picket too, but I was in Turkey, and that was so weird in Turkey too, because like I'm the only Black girl in that whole city, and the whole city locked down too. So it was like, I can't even go outside. I can't do nothing. Got nobody of my complexion here, bro. I was really, really isolated. It wasn't a dark time in my life. I don't think it was like bad, but it was just so interesting thinking that like you have a whole daughter here, and my dad wouldn't call me at all. Like Valentine's Day and 4th of July and Christmas. And it was like, besides that, and the holy holiday, Resurrection Sunday. Besides that, he wouldn't call and check up on me, but I would call and check up on the kids all the time. But I realized that it was becoming like stressful because they would have to hide the phone if they were talking to me. And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna have them go through that. So I stopped talking to them. It felt like so bad because like, it's so silly. And at that time, I didn't like my dad. I was really upset at him. I was like, why are you doing that to me? And I've done nothing but do what you ask. And it's the one thing I wanted to do. That's my choice. And it's literally my God-given decision to make this choice. And you are literally like cold turkey. That doesn't make any sense. As a believer in God, that when you die, your soul doesn't die. Like you are still there. And I know that when he passed, he sees everything and he understands what's really going on. He's probably like, dang, I wasted all that time. Because I'm telling you, from 2019 to 2023, he did not talk to me. He did not talk to me. It was either I had to talk to him or someone was giving me third-hand information about what he said about me or what he wanted to say to me. And it was like, golly. These times, I wasn't bad-mouthing my dad because I was trained not to like go off and be like completely evil toward my dad. But I was like, yeah, my dad just doesn't talk to me. It's sad. And people be like, oh, it's so sad. I'm like, yeah, it's sad. 2022 comes and I decide, oh, I'm gonna go back and see my family. It's been locked down for 2 years. So at 2022, I come back and I see my dad and he's treating me like, okay, hey, Sarah. He was talking to me like, not a lot, but he was, I think he was the one who, John Day. I think John is calling me to go see the grave. Sorry, time out. Painful to see my siblings. I told you guys, like, it's not even the death. It's truly not the death, because I kind of am interested in the concept of death. It's not scary to me or sad to me. It's not even sad to me. It's like, yay, off of this cursed planet. 2022, when I visit my dad, and he's not like avoiding me or anything, but it's not like, you know, how it was. Like, he'll be like calling me, like, hey, so you want me to pick up anything from the store for you? Like, that's kind of the dad that I had. Like, he was like, you know, you want something, I'm gonna do something for you. You need me over there. But it wasn't like that too much in 2022. And I was staying with my uncle and my aunt because I didn't want to stay at home, because I knew like the relationship and everything over there was basically falling apart, and I just didn't want to deal with it. I have a whole series of me getting stuck in Ohio because I missed my flight because of a COVID test that I had, but the paperwork didn't scan in the airport, and I missed my flight by like 5 minutes. God, I literally ran, and the airplane is gone. I just wish that, like, in the beginning they would have just like said. I was devastated, and my dad was all like, you know, maybe this is God. And I'm like, yeah, shut up about this God. Anyway, I had to pay for a whole new flight. My siblings helped me with that. Thank you guys. I love you. He is so interested in what I'm talking about, you guys. 2023 happens, and in 2023 in February, little did I know 2023 would be the year that my dad passed, right? But 2023 in February, I told my dad, like, it's February, it's Valentine's Day, and like, when are you gonna start loving my husband? And like, when are you gonna start talking to us? We had an hour-long argument, and my husband mentioned that like I could have used better words than I used with him, and I was like, you know what? I haven't seen him in like 4 years. You guys, please. I'm mad. I'm like, you know what? When we get there, and you remember this talk that we had, because he's gonna get his green card soon, and I'm gonna remind you of the things that you said on this call, because obviously there's something wrong here. Basically, that's how I ended the conversation. But we ended up getting the green card, and in May we come to America after a trip in Abu Dhabi, and we had this beautiful escapade back to the States. And it's his first time out of Turkey, by the way. He's never been anywhere else. So now it's his turn to be culture shocked a little bit. The second day we're there, like, we're there, my whole family is celebrating him. They're like, oh, well, they had a barbecue, and my dad comes. And my uncle's like, we're gonna let him meet you here, because if anything goes down, like if he wants to do something to him, we're gonna be here, because my whole family's big. My dad's 6'4", but everyone else is around that size too. And so my dad was there, and he basically was like, he shook my husband's hand. He was like, hey, Amir. And I was like, oh, that 4 years of no talking, you're here shaking his hand? But it gets worse, it gets worse. He's talking to me, of course, you know, I'm his daughter. 2 days out from us finally like being in the States, he's like, I want to talk to you too. So he talks to us, and in the presence of our uncle, because we do not want to be alone. We're gonna talk. We'll talk with bodyguards. My dad was like, you know, I know there's a lot of bad stuff that happened between us, but you know, you're my son now. I'm like, what? I was crying out of joy, but frustration as well. I was like, you don't know how many hours I've been waiting for this time, this moment. I actually had I would make songs about this moment. I had dreams that they would come together and be friends. Like, I had dreams about it. They're friends. My dad would call him up every day, because Amir's a carpenter too. So they would be going to Lowe's together, doing all that stuff together. And then, the marriage. I was basically kind of like the middleman for my mom and dad, because at this point they weren't talking at all. And I still had little siblings in the house, and it was really, really bad. My dad was doing everything for my siblings. And I was basically like, you know what? Divorce. Before he could finish the divorce, he collapsed on stage while I was playing Feliz Navidad with him on guitar. He was on bongos, and he had a heart attack. After he had just called his family in Paris and in Canada to have a family conversation about he needs help because he needs to finalize this divorce and he can't stay with his wife anymore. And the hour that he made that call, he died. And all his family were like, this is a conspiracy. Like, we were just talking to him. Like, there was no sign. Of course, he was stressed. He was taking medicine and all that, but everyone was like, what? We were just talking to him. He literally had a meeting about us trying to figure out how we're going to, like, take care of his family. And he even told his, like, next brother in line, you have big shoes to fill in the event that, like, this divorce thing goes down because I don't need help with the kids. And then my dad was like, you know what? Peace. You got this. It was really devastating. For a year, I could not sing any Christmas carols. Like, I could not celebrate Christmas. Of course, it hasn't been too long. But if I listen to Christmas songs now, like, I might still feel something, but I would turn off Christmas music. I was so mad. Not at him. I was mad at, like, the situation was just stupid to me. It was so dumb. Like, that's basically what happened. And that was my relationship with my dad. Rest in peace. I love the fact that I can share this with joy still, because I just know when he spoke to me with my husband, when he saw us and we got to rekindle that relationship, he wasn't talking to me like he was sad. In fact, he kept saying, I'm so proud of how you treat your husband. I wish, like, your mom, you would do this with me. Like, I wish you would set the table like this for me. He would, like, brag about how I treated my husband. And, like, you guys would have been great friends. You guys would have been great friends. That was the end of basically the tale of my dad. Comment down below if you guys have any stories like that. I'm sure, like, everybody has a story. Probably not that traumatic, but everybody has a story to tell. And I'm here to really share. And I'm truly not here for any clicks or views. I know that this world is so huge and that people are scared. People are really scared to be themselves. And people are scared to disappoint those who don't have control of you in the first place. Like, please, Lord, like, just do it. Like, truly, like, who is going to make you happy but you? Who? Nobody on earth can do it but you. And so you have to find that in yourself. And God puts that in you from birth of what you're supposed to do, what makes you happy, what's your favorite color, what you gonna look like. God puts that all in you, and your job is to basically like sift through all the mess of the earth and find your core. That's the purpose of true God, not religion, but God. No one else can do it as good as you. No one else can be a Sarah like me. No one else can be a Mickey like you, Mickey. That's basically the moral. Like, let people be and find who you are. Find your core, find your purpose, because truly discover who you are. Because at the end of the day, nothing else is gonna matter. You can have a house, a mansion, cars, money, and you're sitting in bed and you don't know who you are. So figure out who you are. And then when all that comes, you can create more and grow more and like multiply the good. Everyone in their core knows what's right to do. Everyone. My whole destiny truly is a miracle. And I just want to thank God right now, because I should not be alive. I should not be here. I should not be privileged as I am. I should not be as humble and as joyful as I am with everything I've been through. But I see everything that I've went through as such a gift, because nobody else could tell the story the way I do. And maybe that's to make me feel special for some reason. I don't know. I'm sure somebody else could tell the story, but not the way I can. Would you volunteer as tribute to tell this story? I've been crying all day, but specifically not because of the death, but because what's left. I'm always here. I'm glad I have this little tribe on YouTube. And I hope we bring back the old days of YouTube, because honestly, this curated Mr. Beast type content is driving me sick. I love you, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Try to pretend to. People say we were friends.